There you go. We're live. Apparently.
We're live. Hello.
It's not. Wait, we're not live.
We're not. It went live. It went live and then
went off.
Went off.
Okay, can you try going live? It's not letting me go live. Can you try that?
Yes. Good morning, everyone. Okay. It's 6 o'clock on the 13th of November, 2025. Good morning to the Kiltz Mighty Tribe. This is the Mighty Morning Meetup live. Today we have, I am sorry if I don't pronounce this correctly the way you pronounce it, because I already heard a couple of videos of yours today. Lachy?
Yeah, pretty close. So it's Lachy. It's
Lachy,
it's a weird,
Oliver.
A weird
okay.
Australian name. It's spelt strange.
All right.
Lachy.
Yeah.
Lachy's a great name. That's an awesome name.
So please put in the chat where you're watching from. I'm in Central Florida. Alia, it's in the same state I am today.
Wow, that's amazing. And Dr. Kiltz will be here soon too.
I'll be there tonight, late.
All righty. And where are you coming from, Lachy?
I'm from Queensland, Australia. So it's about 9 p.m. here, so a little bit later than you guys. But yeah, I'm from Queensland, Australia. Happy to be a part of what we're doing today.
Thank you very much for being here. Put hashtag KMT for a t-shirt.
A t-shirt.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm very boring these days.
And if you have any questions for him, we're going to be talking to him in a second. Put the questions in the chat. QQQ. And why don't you start off? Do you have any other announcements, Alia?
I want Norse Carnivore to tell me if he's at the Hilton downtown Tampa.
Okay.
He says he's in Tampa right now. But announcement. So tomorrow, Attack Your Health. That's amazing. Starting at 8 a.m. And then tomorrow night, we're having our Kiltz Mighty Tribe dinner at Terra Gaucha, 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. And guess what? I'm still finalizing the contracts. You still have seconds to sign up to go to dinner.
Hugo, that I interviewed last night, he's coming, by the way. So add him to the list.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. By me. He's my guest.
Wonderful. I'm adding right now.
All righty. So whoever is coming to Hack Your Health, we'll see you tomorrow. And as soon as I finish here, I'm finishing packing up to drive over there. So, Lachy, why don't you start by telling us who you are, what you do, and how you got here? I was watching a couple of your videos this morning, and you're an ancestral coach, right?
Yeah.
And promote an animal diet with fruit, right?
Yeah, for sure. So I got into ancestral and carnivore style eating a couple of years ago. Previously, I was a personal trainer and nutrition coach, so I did have a background in it, but I was eating a more so, I guess, a typical Western diet or a gym bro diet, lots of supplements, protein bars, chicken, rice, broccoli, all that kind of thing. And then I ran into some health issues. I always had, psoriasis, brain fog, ADHD, anxiety, all these other ongoing issues throughout my life. And eventually that kind of turned into Crohn's disease. So I ended up in hospital. One day I was just having pizza and I had this intense pain in my stomach. And then I went into hospital for it. Turned out to be Crohn's disease. I was thinking it might have been like, bowel cancer or something like that. I was being a bit silly as well. I had blood in my stool and I was kind of doing a typical male thing and not paying attention to it and just going, I'll be okay. Then, I ended up with, Crohn's disease. And from there, I did what a lot of people do, and they listen to their doctor and you try the medication. That wasn't working. So I went to a naturopath and then tried all the supplements, and I went paleo, and I tried all of these different things to try and get it under control. And then from there, I kind of had enough. I was looking into the carnivore diet for a while. I thought it would have been a bit too restrictive for me, but I was in a lot of pain. I was pretty desperate. I didn't want to take medication. I've had a lot of people, in my family and friends that have gone down the path of medication, and I just didn't really want to do that long term. So I thought there had to be another way to solve the problem. And from there, I started a meat-based diet. And then that was the first time probably in a couple of months that I was eating food without pain or either having constipation, diarrhea, or, blood in my stool. So it was pretty much instant feedback that meat was very easy for me to digest. So I just started eating lots of that, kept feeling better. And then I started playing around with some like fruits and fermented vegetables. But for the most part, my diet, is mainly red meat as the base for sure. So now since then, I kind of transitioned my coaching approach to that as well. A lot of my clients I wasn't necessarily telling them to eat this way, but they're kind of just copying what I was doing. And then they're coming back and saying like, my arthritis is better, my skin's looking better. So I thought like maybe there's something to this. And I kind of started doing my own research, looking into it and, suggesting it to some of my clients, giving it a try. And then the results were just so much better. I'd been coaching for probably 4 years by this point, doing more so calorie tracking and the protein bars, chicken, rice, broccoli style. And then, still eating foods with a lot of seed oils and that kind of thing in it. And the results were good, still losing fat, but I'm having so much more of an impact now since implementing an ancestral style. So it's been a blessing in disguise in the long run. At the time, obviously it doesn't feel like it, but now I can look back and, it's taught me so much about nutrition and it's given me so much more depth where I can help my clients on a much deeper level for sure.
So a chicken, rice, what was the sort of
so I was pretty flexible with it.
Diet?
Gym bro diet for sure. So like Monday to Friday would be, chicken, rice, veg, or tuna, rice, vegetables. I ate that way for years and years. But then on the weekends, I'd be flexible. I'd have times where I might like binge eat or, I'd drink a lot of beer on the weekend. So I was pretty flexible on the weekends. And then midweek, I'd eat like chicken, rice, broccoli. Very rarely ate red meat, to be honest. Not that I was against it. I just was the typical gym bro, I guess, eating chicken all the time. And since making the change, everything's gotten better. My psoriasis, gut health, mental health, every area has improved for sure.
And did I hear fruit in the diet that you're currently recommending?
Yeah, I play around with fruit. I think I have times where I do include it and then other times where I go a bit more carnivore style. It just kind of depends on where I'm at that stage. I've kind of been testing lion diet, carnivore, seeing like what works best. And I think there's pros and cons to both, doing it both ways. It really just depends on the person and I guess where you're at specifically.
What's your all throughout this, what has been your training routine, your exercise routine?
So with my training routine, before I was struggling with the autoimmune stuff, I would train a lot. So sometimes twice a day. I was training for marathons, doing a lot more endurance style training. As I've been dealing with the disease, I've learned that kind of dialing it back a bit and allowing my body to heal and not putting so much stress on my body has been a lot better. So I do about 4 strength sessions a week and I'll do 2 like zone 2 cardio sessions. Whereas before I was doing, twice a day training, intense, just really always trying to out train my diet. Whereas now it's a lot more simplified. I'm recovering and taking a bit more of a grounded and more sustainable approach to training now. And that's definitely sped up my healing for sure.
Dr. Kiltz, you were going to say something.
I forgot.
Okay.
How young are you?
I'm 29.
29. And do you think there is like a one diet that all of humanity should eat all the time and will live the longest and be the healthiest?
I think there's different approaches to it. I think as a base, I think carnivore is a great diet. I think people should implement a lot more red meat in their diet as the base and the foundation, and then kind of play around with what works for them. I think a lot of people feel great on ketosis, and my approach, and I guess the reason I do like including fruits and a bit of fermented vegetable is because a lot of people can struggle to stick to carnivore. So say if someone's eating a general Western diet, and even for me, for example, I was someone who drank a lot of beer and ate pizza a lot on the weekend. So going to strict carnivore for me was a bit tough in the beginning. Whereas I found just having a bit of fruit in there made it a lot more sustainable for me. And I think the end goal is just to minimize or cut out the ultra processed food, base your diet on meat, and then play around with some other foods. And if you can sustain that for life, that's a great approach, in my opinion.
So carnivore, meat centric, but recognizing that the some plants, small amounts, and why fermented and why fruit do you think versus let's have kale and asparagus and peanuts all the time?
Yeah, so what I've found is, especially like if you do have a weak gut or you are facing some gut issues, just minimizing the oxalates and other defense chemicals has been a game changer. I used to eat a lot of broccoli and spinach and all those different things, and that just wasn't digesting. And it felt very strange at the start because, you're always told to eat your greens. And I was doing that because when I was first sick, I was like, I'll eat healthy and just eat lots of salad, and it wasn't working. So I found the fermented vegetables, it breaks down a lot of the anti-nutrients in the fermentation. So that works quite well. And then I generally try and stick to, like, obviously organic, spray-free produce for the fruit. So if I am eating it, it will be spray-free. Otherwise, I'll just stick to meat most of the time.
Yeah, go ahead, Dr. Nelson.
Yes. I do believe that different people may tolerate the diets, the variations on the diet differently, right? And so among the carnivore community that are trying to stick with just animal-based, no carbs from plants, and they are doing well. Do you have any advice regarding, because a lot of people, especially in the past few months, have been talking about adding carbs and adding vegetables, that it's okay. And my mindset is always, if you can tolerate it, right?
Yeah.
What do you tell someone who happens to already be doing a carnivore, no plants, and is doing well?
Yeah, for sure. I think if you're feeling great on a carnivore diet, I definitely wouldn't change anything. Like if you're feeling amazing and you can stick to it, I think that's awesome. I think I work with a lot of weight loss clients, and I think the issue where it can arise sometimes is when people have a big rebound. Like say they might do carnivore for maybe say 3 months or a year, whatever it is, and then they go back to ultra processed food. So it's kind of like they're going on and off it, where I find if you're struggling with that, maybe just play around with adding in a couple other things as opposed to just doing like strict and then going back to your old diet and trying to make it more of a lifestyle. But if you're someone who's not having any of those issues and you're feeling great and everything else is improving, then yeah, if it isn't broken, no need to fix it for sure.
If you have any questions, please put them in the chat, QQQ in front of it, so we can pick it up easily. Go ahead, Dr. Kiltz.
So how much do you think the community and coaching really adds to people's health and wellness, even if they stayed on the original diet or they made some changes? But do you think that getting a coach, coming into community, maybe massively also helping our brothers and sisters heal?
Yeah, for sure. I think the most important part, and I think the biggest benefit, there's obviously a lot of ways that coaching can help, like through support and accountability in all those areas. But I think the big one, even that I found in my coaching, whether it's a mentor or business coach or health coach, whatever it is just having clarity on what you're doing, especially now when everyone's trying to cram, 10 years worth of knowledge into a 30-second Instagram reel, and then people watch that and they take it as gospel and they try and apply it. I think just having clarity around what you're doing is one of the biggest benefits of being in a community or a coach or having like some form of specialist working with you. I think that is definitely such a hack, really, just having a clear path to follow and cutting out all of the noise.
I would say mindset. And this is so powerful. What are you reading? What are you listening to? What are you watching? But then who are you hanging out with? And
Yeah.
the beauty I love in the carnivore keto communities is that we're hanging out with people that care about their health and their brothers and sisters' health. And so we're sharing ideas, hack your health, right? That's we're all going to hack your health tonight to be there for the next 3 days for community connections and listening and learning. And, we're all scrolling and listening and watching and things like that. But that one is, this is good. These daily connections, weekly connections, monthly, whatever it is. And I've gone to plenty of retreats and seminars in my day. And I think, and this is why we created the coaching course, because everyone needs a connection and a coach. I've got friends and brothers and sisters that are suffering loneliness, depression, worry, and because they don't have a community of support.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's such a big one. I find as well when people are trying to make these changes, because it's kind of considered a little bit strange, I guess, for Western diets. And I have clients as well, when they start, their family might not be supportive, or even their partner might not be supportive. So to have a community or be around other people that are on a similar path to you is incredibly helpful.
Well, and when we say other people aren't supportive of us, but that's the same part that we didn't understand it either. And so we're often blaming other people for not taking care of us, when the truth is it's up to us to take care of ourselves. You got to put the oxygen on yourself first before you can help your brothers and sisters. So I think that's why, listen, be the example, listen and learn from each other. And I think that's kind of what Kiltz Mighty Tribe is about. And again, I'm a member of other gangs and tribes and courses, because I want to learn from each other. And that's what this community is about. What's the right answer?
Yeah, definitely. I think like leading by example is the number one thing you can be doing. I've found it even in my experience, like at the start, no one really understood why I was eating the way I was eating. And then once I got the results, and then, I was coming off medication, I was feeling better, I wasn't in pain anymore. Then all of a sudden my family started, starting to follow the same diet that I was following, and then their results improved. And then most likely they're telling their friends about it, and their friends are doing the same thing. So it kind of flows on, and all it takes is one person to make the change, and it can have a massive impact.
Is it likely easier to make the changes when you're younger and feel better, even though you may not be really strict at that thing, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think when you're young, I was lucky though, like not necessarily lucky, but I was lucky in a way where I had a strong reason to do it. Like I was kind of at a point where the doctors were like, you're going to have to take all this medication, maybe even have chemotherapy and all this other stuff. And I was like, I'm going to try to do this naturally first. I think that probably the harder part when you're younger, like when I first got it, is more so socially. That would be the hardest part. I guess you might not be bound not as busy with work, or maybe you don't have kids yet, but I think socially would be the harder part. Whereas I guess as you get a bit older, you've got, kids at home, a little bit more stress at work. But yeah, you can make it work. And I think once you get your health on track, every area of your life benefits anyway.
Any particular books that you have found really valuable in your life that have sort of turned your life around, or podcasts or movies or stories?
Yeah, for sure. So I listen to a lot of audio books and audibles. So Atomic Habits, everyone probably knows that one, but that was one that definitely changed my life. I think the transition for me was making the small changes day to day and just kind of building on that. Atomic Habits, Compound Effect, those kind of, I guess, self-help books were really helpful for me in the beginning of just, prepping my food, laying my clothes out for the gym the night before, and just making those small changes. And that was a big help.
So tell me the power of getting out of the house and getting to the gym on a regular basis.
Yeah, it just sets you up for the day. I've always trained probably since I was about 11 years old. Like I had dumbbells in my room and a pull-up bar and that kind of thing. But the real change for me was when I started training in the morning. There we go. We're going. Yeah, getting done early. Yeah, I think training in the morning was a game changer. It just set me up for the day. I noticed my focus was better, and you're rocking up to work. You're already energized as opposed to starting your day like relying on coffee and feeling half asleep. So it's very helpful.
And because I know that just getting up and out and showing up and hanging out with others that are doing the work, do you think, again, it's getting to the gym, or at least turning on the sort of the community that puts you in the space, begins to get some vibrational energy and getting us moving every day?
Yeah, I think it has such a big flow-on effect, whether you're around other people, or even just the habit of training in the morning. After a hard workout, you're a lot less likely to, pull into KFC or McDonald's because you've just worked hard for an hour. You don't want to waste your hard work. Whereas if you wake up sluggish and, you've had a stressful day at work and you're rushing home and you don't have time for dinner, like it just sets you up for a much better day. Like if you are getting training done and you're feeling like you don't want to waste your hard effort in the morning.
And what type of work is coaching your full-time passion?
Yeah. So I'm an online coach. I was in the gym for probably 4 or 5 years, and now I'm doing online nutrition coaching and personal training. And yeah, it's honestly been life-changing. I love doing it. It takes up all my time. So it's been really good, but I've been enjoying it.
What's your downtime routine?
Yeah, so downtime routines changed a lot lately. So my wife and I moved states. We moved up north in Australia by the beach now, which is really nice. So downtime, trying to get out a lot more in nature. I found it was I was probably overworking in the beginning, and it was definitely slowing down my gut healing. I was just working too much, not really having any downtime. So we really just get outside, go to the beach, go, to a national park for a hike on the weekends. And then at night we'll just chill. So getting a lot better at chilling now because we moved to a state where we don't actually know anyone yet. So it's all pretty fresh. So we have plenty of free time on the weekends, which is nice.
How much does time cost?
It's free.
It's always free, right?
Yeah.
Right? And how do you deal with sort of the negative beast that is within all of us? Do you have any sort of hacks to help those of us that are like, oh, I can't do this, or I'm not good enough, or this is too hard?
Yeah, definitely. So something that's really helped me is just having a clear goals. So, and then having them to refer back to. So I think sometimes we set goals and it's very vague. So for example, it might be, I want to lose 10 kilos, but there's no real emotional buy into that. It's just a number, or like, you want to lose 20 pounds, whatever it is. But if you set like clear goals, for example, that have a real deep, powerful meaning to you, that are actually going to keep you on track, I think that's a lot more helpful. So say, for example, like instead of saying you want to lose 20 pounds, say that you want to be able to take your shirt off confidently at the beach, or you want to get rid of your back pain so you can play with your kids and not feel so tired. Like stuff that's actually going to keep you a little bit more accountable to achieving that goal, because it's got a lot more emotional buy-in. And then what I like doing is just zooming out and breaking down like your goal into habits. So just ask yourself a simple question, like what habits do you need to stick to make achieving that goal impossible not to do? And then when you zoom out, it's like, all right, well, I probably need to have, eat clean or follow some structure with my nutrition, hit my steps daily, and maybe strength train 3 days a week. And then if you just do those 3 habits every single week, you're going to get to your goal. So it's just kind of zooming out and just breaking it down into what's simple instead of going extreme.
Do you find that becoming a teacher and a coach also is teaching you, and that's sort of another hack, like learn something new and then teach that thing that gives you even more power and strength, understanding the power of the repetition and the power of the positive approach to life?
Oh, of course. Yeah, definitely. Like I learned so much when I started personal training originally because, you're with a new client every 30 to 45 minutes, just back to back. And when I was in the gym, I was doing really long days, 12 hours facing clients, and every client would come in with a different, story, problem, background, and you're just learning from them. And if they have a question I didn't know the answer to, you go find out the question and you come back. So it's a never-ending growth journey being a coach, because you're always trying to learn more and get better. And just you learn from your clients, like through their stories, and you don't want to be stuck in a spot where you can't help them. So you're always trying to get better for sure.
In our ancient existence, what I heard something about primal or ancestral coaching. Is it?
Yeah. So that's the structure I like to follow. Yeah.
So what was our life like 50,000 years ago? Oh yeah, we just want to make sure that you succeed in life, and everyone's going to succeed, and you don't have to do anything, and everyone's already okay. So ultimately, are we warriors? And we've been trained to be warriors and think we can't do something, rather than recognizing we got to get up and out. Yeah. And we have to be the warriors of life and go out and fight the fight, not against things, but really it's the beast is within us. And somehow a physical activity is such an important part of life to build a better existence.
Yeah, definitely. I think if you look back to those times, it was very different now. We definitely weren't sitting on screens all day and hunched over and just kind of, watching Netflix at night. Like we all have it pretty good now. But for some reason, everyone thinks, it's pretty, it's pretty hard. But when you look at it, like there was always challenges for the entire existence of humanity. Like there's always been challenges, but just back then there was probably, there was people trying to steal your food, or whatever it was. Like you're having to go out hunting and you might be starving. Like the challenges were a lot more intense. There we go.
So this idea that ultimately we are hunters and we are warriors, and that's critical to our existence in some way, and we're sort of stress. Oh, life is too stressful.
Yeah.
So you have to reduce stress. What was like 50,000 years ago?
It's a lot more stressful.
A lot more stressful. I mean, we don't have to worry typically. Where's our food, right? Our homes and our clothing and those sort of basics. Like back then, you had to get up every day and fight the fight.
Yeah, exactly. There was no air conditioning back then.
Air conditioning, right? That's a very interesting. And in a box, the box we're all living in is really sort of been manipulated in a way that's harming us.
Yeah, definitely. It's completely different times. And I think just with health, I like to simplify it as well, because I know a lot of people are very confused at the moment. I definitely was confused when I started going down this path. But if you just zoom out and just go back to what we're doing, getting outside, grounding regularly, eating mainly meat with a bit of, berries every now and then seasonally, but most of your diet's obviously going to be meat. If you just do those things, you're going to be healthy. Get out in the sun, ground, go for a walk, hit your steps, go for a run every now and then, lift some heavy stuff. Like that's it.
And women are warriors also, by the way.
Yeah.
And we're equal warriors out there. And I think that's an important thing for all of us to realize, that the warriors within each and every one of us. And do you have any spiritual practices, Lachy?
I do a bit of breath work. I'm probably a bit slack with it. I do go through phases where I'm very consistent with it, but I find for me, my spiritual practice at the moment is every morning I just go for a barefoot walk on the beach, and that's kind of my downtime. So I'll go to the gym first, and then I'll go for a walk on the beach probably for about an hour. So I'll get an hour of grounding in the sun, walking, and that's just my downtime. And I've only recently started allowing myself to have that time, and it's honestly been a really big part of my mental shift to not be so on the on 24/7, always working. I've kind of broken out of that mentality, and it's definitely served me well.
Are we born to retire?
I don't know. I don't think I feel like I don't want to. I wouldn't like to retire. I feel like if we just do nothing, then I don't really know. I feel like I would I'd go a bit crazy if I just had nothing on my plate. Like I don't just want to get to a point where I couldn't see myself playing golf all day. Let's just say that.
So I go play golf with my brothers, and we got alligators on the course. It's a ton of fun, but we go there to commune and connect and have a conversation, and wherever you're going and all of that. There was a question here. Maybe there's some others, I'm sure, Alia and Dr. Nelson, but you want to hit this one, Alia?
Yes, Sandy. After a pre-carnivore gallbladder attack, I cannot go over 35 grams of fat a day. How can I slowly introduce carnivore afterwards, and how soon after surgery?
You have any thoughts on that, Lachy?
I think, with fat intake, it's always just a bit more of a gradual approach, I find. What do you guys think?
I agree. Gradual.
Gradual, but more raw fat and less rendered fat.
Yep.
Raw butter and the fat. Ultimately, think about it. If we were hunting and gathering 50,000, 100,000 years ago, and we were waiting for the cook.
Yeah.
Nah.
Do you guys do much raw meat, or you mainly do cooked? Nice.
That's Kiltz's candy, which is raw beef.
Yeah, nice.
With lots of raw fat on it. And I cut and eat the fat, never cut it away. I see too many carnivores that cut the fat away. And ultimately, you had a gallbladder attack. Again, most carnivores are eating lean, overcooked meat. And that means they're eating a high protein, low fat diet.
Yeah.
And what word am I going to talk about right now? Pottinger's cats. Read the book. Great story. But that's my bet. And raw butter. I mean, here, a spoonful of butter and a little bit of raw beef with some white stuff on it, right?
Yeah. Nice.
That's health food.
Yeah. Do you guys have access to raw butter where you're at? We don't have it in Australia. It's frustrating. We can get raw milk, but it's sold as bath milk, as a skincare product. Oh, nice. Yeah, nice. Got the good stuff. I really want to get my hands on some. We don't have it here. It's like in Australia, they crack down on it.
It's for cats and dogs.
Oh, nice. That's the trick.
I'm the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we take some more of these questions?
Yeah, absolutely.
Papa Carnivore, how affordable is beef red meat in your country at this time? Is it affordable, or are you having to buy chicken pork because of the cost?
Yeah, so I still eat red meat. It is affordable. I find the mistake some people make when it comes to affordability, especially in Australia, because the cost of living is quite high here. If you're having steaks all the time, you're getting ribeyes and everything like that, your grocery bill is going to be very expensive. But if you eat, we call it mince here, but ground beef, if you eat that regularly, chuck steak is another cheap one. I don't know if you guys have it over there. Also, bucco, it's like the beef shin. We have that access to that. They're all really cheap cuts of meat. So Monday to Friday, I'll just be having that most of the time, and then on the weekends, I'll have steaks. So if you pick your cheaper cuts of meat, it's a lot easier to stick to. You'll probably find you actually save money because you're not going to be eating out, getting Uber Eats, which is like $30, $40 by the time it gets to your house. You'll save money eating this way for sure.
And get yourself a freezer and buy a bulk beef or chicken, fish, freeze it all.
Yeah, exactly.
And eggs, bacon, butter, some cheeses. You got to be careful on the cheeses, the milk products, the yogurts. For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, Brian RE258. I'm thinking about doing the Lion diet. How long is a good amount of time for reset? 1 month or 3 months? And then go back to carnivore with a small amount of carbs, 20 grams, 1 day a week. So the question is, how long to do Lion diet?
Forever. And then from time to time, throw in a little bit of small amounts of fruit or some fermented. I mean, I do a French fried potato, no skin, extra crispy, fried in duck grease, tallow, or lard, and
Nice.
then dipped in either butter, mayonnaise, or sour cream, and then salt, because amino acids and simple sugars both are glucogenic, ketogenic in essence, and they require the liver and insulin. So when we talk about high protein versus high sugar, they both metabolize the same. And so it's the fat your body wants, and a little bit of plant in general isn't our killer, unless you have an anaphylactic reaction, which not good.
All right, next question is, how do you know what your ideal, this is from Gloria M. How do you know what your ideal weight should be? Rely on your body's inherent set point or lean on index scans, perhaps, DEXA scans, perhaps? Ideal body weight.
There isn't an ideal body weight. It depends on the conditions. If you have to hibernate for 6 months and gestate, you better be fat. If you're going to go through a famine, a war, pestilence, disease, you better be fat. Dr. Nelson, have we determined the absolute ideal body weight?
I don't know if there's such a thing, but what do you think, Lucky?
Yeah, I think body weight, it's one of those funny ones, especially when people talk about the ideal BMI. Like, you can be muscular and you could be considered obese, like if you're going off body weight and BMI sometimes, even if you're in really good shape. So I think it really just depends on what you like, how lean you want to get, how you want to feel, like kind of if you want to be stronger, if you're more focused on like a physique, or you're just happy, getting to a kind of healthier sort of range. I think it really just depends person to person. I don't think that there's an ideal number.
But ultimately, we have not proven what it is.
Yeah.
Healthy people die all the time of cancer and stroke and suicide and many other things.
Yeah.
And they have the ideal body weight. And because ultimately inflammation is the cause of disease, whether you're fat, skinny, or what we consider the right weight. I mean, our war against fat has kind of effed us up.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Next question, Alia.
What are your thoughts about Bill Gates' new backing of routine blood tests for Alzheimer's for anyone over 60?
Well, he's probably just going to be pushing medication, I would say. More blood tests, more sales.
Mm-hmm.
Flexner report, John D. Rockefeller, it's all about more money. Remember, the people that have the money are making more money because they're selling us an ideas. What doctor's visit or blood test should we all get on a routine basis?
Yeah.
There aren't any.
No.
None. You don't need any tests for us to get to a point. Lion. And that's doing what we are.
Dr. Kiltz, what is retirement?
It's called fertilizer and food for other micro and macroorganisms. That's what it is. Again, no other organism retires. Put all your money in the bank and watch it grow, and then what? And then you die, and you left it for who? Bill Gates and all those others, because the government controls our money.
Last question so far. My husband got a CAC score back. It was almost 6,000. It said it was higher than 99% of people his age. We haven't spoken to a doctor or anything. does this seem possible?
You know, mine went from 6 something to 7 something to 8 something, and I'm 70 in March. And what does the test mean? Nobody knows that. Our good friend Cindy, you know, had a good testing, a good treadmill test, and then gets a heart attack a week later, right? And ultimately, what test can tell us, oh my God, in a week you're going to drop dead? Don't know it.
Don't know it.
And partly a lot of this testing, even for me, makes me go like, oh my God, right? And rather than, oh my, I'm okay, God.
That was the last question. So I want to see if anyone else, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat.
Well, Dr. Nelson,
By the way,
go ahead. I wanted you to comment on the CAC score, the cholesterol, and our ability to predict. I mean, what's the leading cause of death? Actually, the 100% cause of death is your heart does what?
it stops.
Stops.
Yeah, you should follow up with that after that test with whoever ordered it or your primary provider. But what does the test mean? The test means there's a lot of calcified plaques in your coronary arteries. Okay. Now, if you want to find out more about it, your doctor will probably order some other stuff. Is it predictive of having a heart attack tomorrow or next week? Not exactly. I mean, all we can do is associate what is your risk compared to other people that may have had similar numbers. But we cannot make any absolute statements based on that. But yeah, it does mean specifically the finding that there is a lot of coronary artery disease, which is the number one cause of death in the world. It has been for a long time.
But doctors have shipped people to the morgue and mistakenly called someone dead, and turned out they really weren't. And so our ability in modern medicine to predict is really not that great, right? And let's see, George comments about the Rockefellers, but the sugar cartel was the first cartel in the world to control the masses, because it's the number one addictive substance. And then tobacco and alcohol. Thank you, doctor. And ultimately, we are controlled by the addictive substances created by the microbes and the plants in cahoots to make you and I fertilizer in order to propagate the microbes and the plants. And ultimately, they're the cartel.
This is an interesting comment from Bacon Runner. Feel like my health is doomed. I have a very hard time to stop losing weight on carnivore. At the same time, I feel great.
Well, I don't know what weight you want to be, but again, eat more fat and stop running all the time. But what weight do you want to be? I would bet we don't even know what size we were, but our average BMI was 50,000 years ago. You know, that's the interesting part to this story, right? We don't know. But, you know, so Bacon Runner, what is she doing? What does that state she does a lot of?
She runs.
She runs.
Okay, so the one way I learned how to drop a bunch of weight was to run. And the leanest I was is when I used to run 5 to 10 miles, 3 times a week. And ultimately, is that what we're built to do all the time? Like, what did you create? What did you build by running all the time? Nothing. Slow down. Do something. But remember, the best way to burn a shitload of calories, remember, the only fuel for the body is fat, not protein. And so you're going to be the leanest, because look at the runners. Who are the leanest out there?
Yeah, the runners.
The runners. So slow down. Hang out with us. Go into the pottery studio, the painting studio, or the podcast studio, right? Right? Join Kiltz's crazy tribe, gang.
There's another one from Brian Ari. How do you all deal with stress, and how does stress affect your diet?
Lachy.
Yeah. So with stress, I find it all just comes down to making it easy for yourself. And that's why like a carnivore or ancestral diet is the way to go. I think just making sure it's just quick and easy. I'm a big fan of the slow cooker. I always say to my clients, like if it's a week where it's a bit chaotic, just make your meal prep as easy as possible. So I will put like brisket or chuck steak in the slow cooker, turn it on, cook it in bulk, and then your dinner's ready. So if you're really stressed, just make it easy so you can stick to it. That's the key. What does that say? I can't read too well.
Christ-based teachings. Again, whether it's Moses, Muhammad, Abraham, Jesus, Lao Tse, Buddha, or it's Lachy, Nelson, or Alia. What you put in your mind determines the things they create out there. And so what part of life is supposed to be purely easy? None. We're born lucky. The only thing that truly is the most amazing thing that's ever happened to any of us is we're born, and it is a guarantee that you are going to die and be fertilizer. And when and how it happens, the answer is, I don't know. But what are you reading? What are you listening to? What are you watching? So recognize that stress is purely just a mindset. If you do not lift heavy weights, how do you build muscle?
You don't.
Is that stress?
Yeah, it is stress.
Could you damage your muscle or bone or ligaments by doing that?
Definitely. Could do it.
So life is supposed to be stressful, but if you think about it as the power of building better in your life, not a negative, then you're changing it. So ultimately, if you have no stress, you're dead. Right? Life is so. How do you embrace? And this is, the secret. The secret of life is to change what you think of the thing to change the thing. Meditation, prayer, visualization, positivity, which I found will overcome any diet. I don't care what your diet is. It will overcome any diet. And how do you deal with stress? What are you listening to? What are you watching? What are you reading? And again, the Bibles are the stories of the warriors. And in many cases, they're the warriors, but to convert the warrior to the true warrior, that's the very best way to deal with stress. To see the beauty of the hardship and the challenges. Your cross to bear, right? Make any sense? Or am I like talking to
No, I get it.
am I talking to the mirror?
Yeah.
Which is truly I am. And I can only tell you from my experience in life is that the mindset is the real master class. That's why carnivore is king, because it's a lifestyle of thinking and listening and learning like the Lion King. And Jesus Christ, Muhammad, Moses, Abraham are lion kings. And there are brothers and sisters that told us a story that changed our lives, right? And when you go to the gym, are you not a warrior?
Working to be one, trying to.
Well, you are one because this is what you're born. You are born that way, but we've been listening, they're feeding us alcohol, they're feeding us marijuana, they're feeding us cocaine and heroin, and then sugar cane all the time. So is cane sugar, small amounts, sometime your problem?
No, not every now and then.
Is alcohol in small amounts infrequently your problem?
No.
But fermentation in the gut via the microbes is the biggest source of alcohol in our bodies, rather than you drinking it. That's why a lion diet, fatty meat, and eat less frequently is the best thing ever. I was listening to Diane Newman from Caltech, an overview of microbial diversity and evolution, because I'm curious about the microbes. And I wrote a number down, and this was about 10 years ago. There were about 6 times 10 to the 9th human beings on the earth. And there were 5 times 10 to the 30th microbes on earth. And, just do a 5 and then 30 zeros, or a 6 and 9 zeros. That's the difference in the number of humans versus microbes. And what do bacteria and yeast make when they ferment? Alcohol. And so, do microbes ferment amino acids? Which come from what, Lucky?
What was that one? Sorry.
Amino acids come from
Protein.
is a high protein diet, a fermented diet.
What was that? Sorry. A fermented diet.
High protein diet, a fermentation diet.
Yeah.
Gut fermentation makes alcohol. And so part of the problem is our brothers and sisters are suffering from alcohol intoxication.
Yeah.
And so, again, stress. Really, if you would let a stress-free life, you're smoking marijuana, drinking alcohol all the time.
Yeah, I think stress can be a funny one. A lot of it's self-inflicted. I used to battle with it quite a bit, but at the same time, I was drinking beer on the weekend, staying up late, and my habits weren't great. So a lot of it can be tied down to habits more so than anything, for sure.
Yeah, ultimately, everything is only made up in our mind. That's the whole point of the story, is every thought you think creates your environment. So stress is only created in the mind. There's nothing out there. If you understand the function of the human brain and how we take in the energy and we create a story, how many times does your wife have a different opinion about anything? So we infinitely have different opinions about the universe, although there are about 10 general ways of human thinking, maybe 5. And ultimately, it all comes down to the way the molecular reactions happen in the cells of the organism. And we're creators of the story. That's why stories and fantasies are so powerful to humanity. We're built in our stories and words, for sure. And alcohol is deadly for us, for sure. But coaching, what's your next adventure on your coaching journey, Lucky?
So next adventure, next year, I'll be looking at getting certified for some blood work and also stool testing as well. So I'm just going to level up around that side of things. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, for now, I'm just focusing on doing what I'm doing, just keeping it nice and simple, sticking to an ancestral eating structure, focusing on fat loss, and then a little bit more on the gut health, inflammation side of things through diet, and just making it nice and simple for people to make realistic changes day to day.
Occam's razor. It means the simple answer is always the one.
Yeah.
And you want to learn to minimize or eliminate and not moderate.
Yeah.
Minimize or eliminate. And again, eliminate the negative thinking. That's the first thing you want to do. I mean, how many of us feel, oh, life is unfair? Or
it's easy. Yeah.
Oh, life is unfair. Of course it is.
Yeah. It's easy to get stuck in that kind of mentality. Yeah.
But this is where the diet matters, because does alcohol and the production of fermentation actually make your brain work better or worse?
Yeah, I think nutrition is the first key. I think if you're struggling with stress or depression, anxiety, whatever it is, if you can get your nutrition sorted first, it's going to be a lot easier to deal with the rest.
Eat butter. What does butter do to the microbes in the gut?
It's just easy fuel for them.
No, it is not. It suppresses their fermentation.
Oh, yep.
Butter, fat is not fermentable.
Yeah.
And so if you suppress the fermentation, what do you suppress the production of?
Alcohol.
Alcohol. What does alcohol do to your thinking brain?
Not good stuff.
And so again, we are between sugar, alcohol, marijuana, vaping, tobacco, and negative thinking. You're doomed. And when you get your thinking in alignment and you understand the power of eating fat, real raw fat is the actually healthiest thing to eat.
Yeah. Undervalued, I find now. It's starting to make a comeback. I think a lot more people are getting around eating a higher fat diet, which is great, but it was definitely kind of demonized for the last however many years, probably 50, 60 years, do you think?
Well, it's still demonized today. Remember, obesity is demonized. If you're fat, what do people think of you, and what do you think of you?
Yeah, probably not feeling the best.
Is that a good idea to be propagating that if you're fat, you're unhealthy and it's bad? It's not good. Because wherever you're at, you must think the beauty and power of positivity. Because if there's a famine, who survives?
People with body fat.
You better believe it. You better believe it. That's it.
We have, I think, one more question.
Yeah.
All right. William Travers, 28, probably has nothing to do with starting carnivore 2 months ago. I have just been diagnosed with AFib and 50% blockage. I want to continue carnivore. Thoughts?
Well, the first thing is a 50% coronary blockage did not happen over the course of 2 months. Absolutely not. That took years, and it's still not a critical place, but we don't know about their circumstances or the age. But yeah, AFib can happen. It happens. It's a frequent thing. And I don't know that I would blame carnivore for that.
Okay. And he wants to continue carnivore. I want to just say find Brian Nowicki, who has had much improvement with AFib with the carnivore diet. He is called Wikivore on YouTube.
And remember, just because you're a carnivore, even the full-on lion diet, you're going to die of something. And when and what it is, we don't know what it is. Certainly, I do believe, as Dr. Nelson says, is that years of a diet of high plant, low animal fat is a contributing factor. But why you and when and how, that's our mystery. We just don't know that answer. But I would say yes to carnivore, and I'd say yes to small amounts of fruit, ripe and fermented sometimes. To me, it's some French fries sometimes, but you choose it for sure. But I think this lifestyle is really powerful, important. I got to go to the hospital.
Go.
I got to go to the
Bye.
hospital. I have surgery all day. I'll see you late tonight or tomorrow. Lachy, you're amazing. Thank you, everyone, for allowing Kiltz to be here. Dr. Nelson, Alia, I got to run.
See you later.
I got to run.
Yeah, we're going to finish up. We'll finish up.
Yeah. Thanks, Ben. Nice to meet you here. Have a great day.
Brother.
Yeah.
God bless.
I'm just going to do, so if you noticed or not, my internet went out. And so we lost most of the entries into the giveaway. I don't know why that happened, but
you don't lose them. They're there. They're just not counted on the new number, but don't worry about it.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. Okay, so I'm going to hit the button.
They're not stored on your computer.
Okay, good. All right. There we go. And as people. Hey, Dr. Nelson, I'll give you a shirt at Hack Your Health.
Hold on. Let me see. I have Carnivorous Dude in Instagram.
Awesome. All right, Eddie,
go ahead and email Alia.
I'll just give him a shirt today or tomorrow. He'll be with us. Eddie, come and find me.
All right.
Yay, congratulations.
Was there one more question, or did we cover them all?
We covered them all.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Lachy, for being with us today.
Awesome.
Where can people find you? And I have your YouTube
so I'm on
here.
On Instagram mainly. So Lachy Oliver, so LACHY Oliver and _. I'm just on Instagram. I do a little bit of stuff on YouTube, but mainly Instagram.
Great.
So
awesome, guys.
This is your YouTube channel. And it's basically your name with an _ in between first and last name, right?
Yep. Yeah, that's the one.
Awesome.
Yeah, perfect.
And it's the same on Instagram.
On Instagram, it'll be the _ on the end. Yeah. And But yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it. Good to catch up, and I hope you all have a great day and keep living the carnivore life.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Oh,
all right.
So one more last question that just popped up before I end. Dr. Nelson, you are talking to a gentleman named Mauro Stara, who helps people to get in shape. There you go. Another fitness coach. However, you guys should come because he's not carnivore, but he has done carnivore. So I'm curious about this conversation. There you go.
All righty. See you later today at 3 p.m. and at 5:30 p.m. In the Zoom call within the community. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. See ya.
Bye.